Welcome to Wellness Rebranded.
We know there is so much conflicting health and fitness advice out there.
And you're tired of the wellness fads, endless diets, and impossible standards that make you feel like nothing you do is ever enough.
You're ready to tune into your mind and body and feel empowered around health.
We're the healing trio here to help you redesign your relationships with food, fitness, and yourself.
I'm Elizabeth, registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor.
I'm Maria, licensed mental health therapist.
And I'm Tara, personal trainer.
Together, we're changing the narrative on health away from diet culture, hustle culture, and toxic positivity and towards healthful self-care.
So grab your water bottle, get ready to laugh, learn, and grow, and let's start rebranding your wellness journey.
So here is a topic that usually people have a lot of questions and their myths and realities about it. And it is the topic of meditation. And here's one thing, on the retreat that we have been talking about in our last episode, that you are all invited, by the way, we'll talk about that more at the end. But one topic was about meditation, Elizabeth, and a lot of women there actually shared that they really appreciate learning. For example, there's one here that said that she appreciates learning that meditation can be in a shorter time and does not mean an empty mind. And I think that was a good piece of information because sometimes people think that meditations that you have to be sitting down, crisscross applesauce with your fingers, your thumb and another finger put together, clearing your mind and sitting there for a whole hour. I mean, that's kind of like
that is the vision.
Stereotype.
I've just never heard it described like that.
It's like the for a whole hour, which I do. My brain is like a puppy. I can't just sit there and do that. But that's not what medication necessarily means.
Correct. So meditation is something that I'm really passionate about. And it's also a thing that I struggle to make it a consistent habit, even though I love it and I believe in it and I know how it's impacted my life when I do it consistently. And I know the research behind how powerful it is. So I just want there to know that I really, really, really struggle to make it a consistent habit. And I am a major proponent of trying to do so because, well, first of all, I actually went and got certified as a meditation instructor specifically for food and body healers. And I think it's really powerful skill and practice for people on their intuitive eating or body image journey, but also just on your health journey in general for a lot of reasons. If you step back and think about what meditation is, a lot of people think exactly what you said. Meditation is just like sitting there quietly doing nothing. And I would argue that that's actually entirely wrong on all counts because really powerful things are happening in your brain when you're sitting there. Powerful things can happen in your life when you're sitting there. And the goal is not to sit there and not think about anything. The goal of meditation is to learn, I shared at the retreat the definition of mindfulness, which of course meditation is a form of mindfulness that I love, is from Jon Kabat-Zinn. And it is paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and without judgment. And those are sort of like, I really need to count because I don't know if that was 4 or 5 things that I just said. I think it was 5. But those are sort of the tenets of meditation. And really it is the practice of being present, pausing, right? And then noticing. And I think that's where people have a misconception about meditation, that it is about, people will say, I can't meditate. I can't quiet my mind. My mind's too busy. Congratulations, you're human. Every single one of us has a busy mind, but we get swept off in our thoughts, right? And if you think about it, almost all of your thoughts are about what happened in the past or what is likely or you wish or you want or you don't want to happen in the future. If you really pay attention and notice, the thoughts of what actually you're doing right now in this very moment are usually not what you're thinking about.
Well, because I don't think we need any help in going to the past or the future. Like we spend a lot of time there mentally and emotionally. So what meditation proposes is to take those pauses to bring yourself to the here and now.
Thinking about launching a podcast or taking yours to the next level?
Juliana Barbati and her team are the experts you need. They take care of everything from episode funnel design to production and marketing, so you can focus on creating content that connects. Check out julianabarbati.com and mention that we sent you.
Now, you explained something that day during our first ever Wellness Rebranded retreat that we had on Saturday, February 7th, and that we're doing again in May. But you said something about clouds. Remember how
Yes.
and
yes.
people love that. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So if you think about the goal of meditation is not to quiet your mind, but it is to get to know yourself better, to be able to sit with yourself, to notice, to get to know your own mind better and notice your thought patterns and your reactions and how you come up with things. And so what I shared that day is I like to think about meditation. People think that when you're sitting there and you're trying to focus on, what usually it's your breath or some other, the sound or anchor point. And when people realize that they're not focused on that thing, they think like, oh, I stopped meditating. I'm doing this wrong. And no, actually, that is the moment of the practice, is noticing that your mind is wandering off and then bringing it back to the present moment. And I shared that I like to think of your thoughts when you're meditating, or really ever, but they're like clouds drifting off in the sky. Like you see them, they're there, but you just notice them and you don't ride the clouds, right? And you don't get swept away by them. You just notice them. And that's really the goal, is to notice and understand yourself better.
Yeah, you're able to see that the thoughts are there and you're not judging them. You're not grasping and getting stuck in that specific thought. They're just passing by and you see them pass by. There's a really nice video on YouTube, similar, but it's about fish, and it's about teaching kids how to step back and look at their emotions, like how you also see them, like if you're looking at a fish tank and all these colorful fish where your different emotions, that we don't need to judge any of them, that sometimes you take a step back and see these are the emotions that I'm having, and you see them like you're looking at clouds passing by. And that's meditation too, is noticing that in this right moment you have these thoughts or you have these emotions and they're there and you're just noticing and paying attention to that.
Right. And that moment when you notice my mind drifted off, then you bring your attention back to the anchor. That is the practice of meditation. But there's two reasons why I'm so passionate about including this as much as possible when people are open to it into your food and body journey, is because if you think about what I just described, it's getting to know yourself, to notice where your mind is going, to be able to sit with yourself, right? Be with yourself, sometimes be with the discomfort of like, my mind is racing in a million directions, or I'm fidgeting, or I'm uncomfortable here on this chair, pillow, or whatever it is today. That's kind of like a metaphor, really, or the same skill that you're building in healing your relationship with food and your body, is like creating the distance between knowing how you feel about your body and letting that just be, right? Acknowledging it for what it is, knowing that you may have those thoughts, but that's not really who you are, or what. Just because your mind is thinking this thing that you've been taught to think, that really isn't who you are and your value and your worth. And so it teaches you that skill of being able to sit with the uncertainty and the discomfort, which of course, healing your relationship with your food and your body, there's loads of that in the process.
And I'm thinking healing your relationship with your emotions. I had to learn, like, I'm going to give a personal, what is it?
A tell-all?
Confession. Yes.
Oh,
like a
Maria's got a tell-all
I have
coming.
A confession.
A confession.
Yes. Anger is an emotion that shows up in my body frequently.
Doesn't that make you normal?
Right. Yeah, but I've had problems because of it.
Okay.
With people around me, because I'm easy to anger. And I have to learn through the years, very slowly and little by little, to do exactly what you just said, is sometimes step out and just notice how uncomfortable I feel because I'm angry and something irritated me, or I'm feeling offended or humiliated or whatever, not heard, whatever is bringing that anger, and then try to see it from the outside, from that fish or those clouds passing, and saying, yes, I'm angry. Let me sit with it for a minute. Let me give myself compassion for it too, and let me wait for the wave a little bit, and then behave based on that anger. Because otherwise, meditation, I think what it does is giving you a break from the constant reaction that we have because of our thoughts, our
It
feelings.
puts distance between
Yes.
you and your thoughts, or you and your emotions. And it
Yes.
teaches you almost to be like an outside observer. And it also teaches you to be fully present in this moment, right? Which is really the only moment any of us ever have. This moment right now. I have no idea what could happen in 1 minute. Like an asteroid could come down, right?
And what happened 2 minutes ago already
Elizabeth's
passed.
skyrocketing our anxiety over here.
Sorry. True. What happened 2 minutes ago already passed. So excellent point.
Well,
And
the
so-
same point. You don't know if in 2 minutes you're going to win the lottery. I mean, you didn't play. But, I mean, it could be like...
Yeah, I mean, we
something
just don't
amazing.
know.
You just
we
don't
live
know.
our lives as though we have some control over the future. Sometimes I heard this things at some point somewhere that, like, imagine that you're trying to go to the dentist and you know where you live and you know where the dentist office is and you budget how much time it's supposed to take you to get to the dentist, right? And there you are, you're on your way. And all of a sudden there's like some massive something or other that traffic is at a standstill. And what do most of us do in that scenario? Our blood pressure starts rising. We start getting amped up. We're like frustrated or irritated. We live as though we approach that as though we had control over how much time it was going to take us to get to the dentist, when the reality is we never did.
Yeah.
It's an illusion, right? Tara, your face is like...
I actually like totally relate to that because I live in Edgewater and my dentist is in Crownsville. So, for those of you that aren't local here, that's like 20-ish minutes. But like inevitably there is something that happens on that journey. Like I pass a lot of very like trafficy places. So that analogy completely resonated with me because I usually am like, in the car, like panicking.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing I can do about this.
Right. And the idea that it was only ever going to take you a set amount of time, that wasn't
Yes.
ever true to begin with.
Correct.
Right? Like we never knew that. It was an illusion. And to me, it's like the problem with diet culture as well, right? Like the idea that we can control our body, that if we all just sort of be good and do the thing that we're told that we're supposed to do and eat little and move a lot and, monitor our calories and follow the rules of this, that then our body's going to do this thing that we've been promised. And it's an illusion, right?
There's a quote I like that kind of reminds me of this whole conversation, and it's that you can't control the ocean waves, but you can learn to surf. And so you really can't control
Yes.
like very little in your life, right? There are very few things you have complete control over, but we can adjust our reactions to those waves.
Right.
So maybe we surf or maybe we get out of the ocean,
Yeah.
right? I don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one reason why I'm so powerful about it, is it just eases the journey. If you can get to know your own mind, if you can get distance with your thoughts and your emotions, and you can, get more comfortable with uncertainty, right? Then it makes the food and body healing journey, it just paves the way a little bit. But the other reason why I'm really passionate about encouraging people to include this mindfulness and specifically meditation really on your health journey or food journey is the other thing that meditation and mindfulness do is they teach you to pause essentially and be in the present moment. And that is, for lack of a better term, it's exercising your pause muscle. And if you are trying to change an ingrained food pattern, if you're trying to increase your days at the gym, if you're trying to do less emotional eating, or you're trying to include more fruits and vegetables, or, whatever it is,
Express your feelings in a more assertive way.
yes, then you have to be able to pause before you go to the automatic reaction, right? You have to be able to pause. And it teaches you to do that. And
It's like you pause and you're like, what does this smell like?
what?
what?
Like, listen, like, for example, I'm really good at smells, right?
Okay.
So sometimes, like, in my house, there was like a gas smell.
Oh, uh-huh.
So I paused. And
I
was
also
like,
have that in my house
It smells
most
like
nights.
gas. And then I go to the kitchen. I'm like, is it from the kitchen? Is it from upstairs? Like, I'm like a dog when it comes to my mouth. So, to my nose. I promise it's going to make sense. So
I'm waiting. Probably.
exercising the pause muscle is like when you start to get to know yourself, you pause and you're like, okay, what is this like alarm sign? Like what does this smell like? What does this look like? It's such a way to get to know yourself better and say, okay, this is my body letting me know that I'm hungry. This is my body letting me know that I'm tired. This is my emotion, this emotion specifically that I'm feeling because of what just happened. Or this is, the moment that it's like a check-in. It's like an exercising your pause muscle, checking in, like, what does this smell
and
like?
It's also a moment to
coming
recognize how you normally would react, right? And that simple moment to recognize gives you an opportunity in the pause to perhaps choose a different path.
Well, basically, that's why people that do a lot of meditation, the stereotype is that they are going to have a lesser impulsive reaction to things than those of us who don't practice meditation, both. But, like that's the stereotype. It's like a monk who meditates a lot and then they're very...
Yes. By the way, did either of you get to go see the monks?
No, and I'm so devastated.
So yesterday here in Annapolis, for people who aren't local, the Walk for Peace, those, I don't know how many monks there are, but they ended that entire journey here in Annapolis. And it looked real. I've only seen people's posts and things. I'm really, really sad that I
could not believe like half of them were barefoot. Like I can't think of a worse time of year to walk anywhere barefoot.
True.
And it was yesterday because we're recording today, but for those of you listening right now, it was
that would
like
make
a month ago.
yesterday.
It was a month ago. Not yesterday, a month ago. Need a cleaner home without the stress? Our partner Clean is a trusted cleaning service based in Anne Arundel County, serving homes and businesses across the DMV area. They do it all, from routine tidying to deep cleanings, move-in, move-out jobs, Airbnb turnovers, and janitorial services. Their team is experienced, reliable, and focused on giving you back time and peace in your space. And here's the best part. Mention Wellness Rebranded and you'll get $100 off your first cleaning. Visit chrisclean.com, that's KRISSKLEAN.com. Call 410-858-5620 and check the show notes for all the details.
Let me share with you guys why I like meditation. I think that a lot of us, myself included, and I have many clients that tell me this, like disassociate from our bodies and from the present moment.
Oh, yeah. It teaches you to be embodied.
Regularly. I get my son to bed every night and I like basically flop on the couch and like, I could not tell you what happens from 8 to 11 and then I go to bed.
We disconnect. I mean, we've learned to disconnect.
I've completely disconnected. But I really like meditation because it allows me to tune in to my body and tune into the present moment and tune into all the things around me and not like just go off into the oblivion.
And I'm so glad you said that because think about it. Intuitive eating is about learning how to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Right. So it's also why it's a fundamental, in my opinion, of a foundational skill that meditation can help teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
To actually connect and feel what's going on with your body. And 100%. So I noticed that when people are resistant to the idea of meditation, that they will say like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at it. Or feels like I'm doing nothing or I don't have time for that. Right. And trust me, I get it. I started off saying it is the habit that I most want to do every day and have the hardest time doing consistently every day. I go in fits and spurts, sadly. Someday I'm going to come on this pod and be like, guys, I conquered it. I meditate daily or nearly every day. But that day is not today.
But not if we understand that's something long. I mean, that has to take a long time.
Yeah.
Again,
so
if we're learning
even just a couple of minutes has benefits. It does not have to be an hour. The goal is not to make your mind quiet. You can't really do that. Your mind it thinks. That's what your mind does. It's like asking yourself not to breathe. Like, sure, you can not breathe for 20, 30, 40 seconds, but then you're going to breathe again. Your mind is going to think again. So it doesn't have to be quiet. You literally can't be bad at it because when you realize you've drifted off, you bring your attention back. And so,
And the more we do it, the easier it's going to be for your brain to say, oh, this is what
oh
we're
yeah,
doing.
definitely
I
gets
remember."
easier.
Right.
And also, I would say that what I notice is when I am in like a good stretch of doing it, honestly, my days just go better. I find myself noticing like, oh, here I am washing my hands. Oh, here I am putting my shoes on. Here I am brushing my teeth. Like I'm just more aware of what I'm actually doing and not my thoughts spiraling as much. And there's maybe a misperception that you're just sitting there doing nothing and it's wasted time. But there's actually such valuable things happening when, I guess that would be the takeaway that I would want to share is there's really, really valuable things happening when you do it. And we didn't even touch on any really of the science of what's actually happening in your brain, which is pretty powerful.
So did you meditate today?
No.
Okay, because now I notice. You see how she said when she meditates, her thoughts are not spiraling?
I see that.
And Elizabeth, just so you know, Elizabeth came today with thoughts spiraling.
I did?
Yeah, she came different
Thanks for outing
today.
me.
That's because of the lack of meditation. So I would appreciate.
I'll be sure to meditate on recording
before-
days.
Yes, please. Thank
That could
you.
be one
That's all.
very simple goal I could set for
Yes.
myself.
I'll send you a text
Right.
message at 6 a.m. Meditate.
No, but I loved that part of the retreat when we meditated together for two reasons. One, I think, I usually do it in my house by myself. So there's something really cool and special to do it in community with other people. But I loved when people afterwards, like someone even said, I think that was like the healthiest kind of meditation I've ever done. And a couple other people said, that was really, really powerful. And you helped me frame it in a different way. And I didn't have that kind of pressure.
And I think
Yes.
a couple of them also said, like, I never thought I could meditate, and I just did for very few
Yeah,
minutes.
that was like
Yeah.
really cool to me.
I also like that because it kind of proves to us that meditation doesn't have to be this hour-long process with all the perfect elements in play. Like we did that for what, like 15 minutes at the retreat?
I mean, we talked about it for a while, but the actual meditation was only 10 minutes.
So it was like a 10-minute thing. Like we could work that into your life as like an exercise snack, right? That could be a mindful moment.
Well, you would think, but I'm still working really hard at it.
which is okay.
It's totally okay.
That's called
So
being
if you're
human.
out there trying to build a habit and it is like you're having a hard time, I see you.
and just to give you an idea, that 10-minute meditation is only a little part of all we did in our first retreat held by Wellness Rebranded this past February. And we have another one coming up in May. All the information is here on the show notes, so you can register and experience really such a curated and
Come join us. It really was awesome.
An
It was
amazing
great.
space and time. It's a day retreat, probably from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But check all the details. We would love to have you there. And if you like this episode or any other episode, share it, download it.
And when you're done listening to this, I want you to go to episode number 136. Mindfulness isn't just meditation, how to actually be present in your busy life. I think it's a really nice compliment to this conversation, and I hope you love it.
Thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me outside of this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at coaching_therapist.
I'm Elizabeth. You can find me at Elizabeth Harris Nutrition or in my Facebook group, Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Tara De Leon Fitness. Guys, if you loved this episode or any of our other episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It really, really helps us get the non-diet word out to the rest of the world. So please leave us a review.
Yes, thank you.